just the overall form of them isn't bad. They're very Foam RNR-esque. And the marbling's good too. They're very comfortable. They're very squishy. You know, the comfort, I'd give them like a 9 out of 10 on the comfort. They're very comfortable. Greetings, my foam shoe friends. We are back with another one. This, I do believe this is the AG Whale 2. I'm not positive, but it has Chinese shipping information on it. So this is the only slide that I've ordered from China. So I assume that's which one it is. We will find out momentarily. This is the second time I ordered this one. Got it through the 361 Sport website. I had ordered it from a different website initially and they canceled my order. So I've reordered it and it actually was cheaper on the Sport website. So it ended up saving me like $30 in the end. So it wasn't a terrible thing that initial order got canceled, but this is a viewer requested slide. I had no knowledge of this particular offering prior to that viewer requesting it, and it looked kind of cool, so I figured why not? We'll give it a shot. See if it's any good. If it isn't, then I'll get my money back. I kind of like this this packaging. Poison. I don't know if that's picking up the angle. Hang on. This is poison. I don't know. I just like that teal color. So whenever anybody does anything different with packaging, it's kind of cool, kind of nice. All right. I wasn't sure what to do with the sizing on this one. The website said they ran big, but then when I pulled up reviews, they said to size up. So I don't know. And then I just pulled up the write-up on it on another site, and it says to go to size down an entire size and a half. So I have no clue how these are going to fit. Let's pull them out, and then I will read the brief sales description on them. So I ended up being able to get the marbled colorway. I thought this was the best looking colorway that they had. I wish there was a little more marbling on it. There's kind of a weird glitter on the side thing there. But they had like a black marbling too. And I like the cream marbling a little bit better. There, this one looks a little bit better. That one's got a little more color in it. So, first impressions, they are not done equally. You can see how much more color there is on the one shoe versus the other. Well, I guess that side's got a little more on it. I guess it's just the outsole. They do look huge. All right, let me read the description real quick, and then we'll look at them a little more in hand. Don't worry, it won't be a long description. All right, this is off the 361sport.com website. This is the website that I ordered them from. They are, the marbled one is retail at $59. The other website I ordered them off of was like $80 or something. So I would recommend going to the 361sport.com if you're interested in these. Okay, the write-up says, drop in ENRG-N40 midsole for better cushioning, more comfort, easier cleaning, and odor-free in summer. Quick with an exclamation point for the eye. Quick foam light structure for great support and responsiveness. Suitable for water play activities, daily outfit, and off-court leisure time. Okay, and they've got a few different colorways. Like I said, they've got a black marbled one, and then they've got some solid colors and stuff. So, all right, let's take a look at them. See if there's any. No, I think it's just in Chinese. So they kind of had a Yeezy vibe to them a little bit. They kind of had a Foam RNR vibe. we will compare those in a little bit. I thought they were unique with the drop-in insert and with the side buttons, but this, look at this side isn't really fitting properly. That wants to pop out. I'm sure once I step in on it, they might hold in place a little bit better, but first impression, that's not very impressive. And then there's also an insert on the bottom. I kind of like this radial pattern on the outsole. It's all the same EVA material. It has a very squishy feel to it. So that's kind of cool. That's initially why I ended up getting these, was this this radial outsole pattern. I thought looked really nice, and the marbling. Let's look at the other one. It's got a little better marbling in it. So aesthetically, I thought they looked pretty cool. But we will find out how they fit and feel in a moment. That has a very squishy compression rate to it. There's a little bit of a glitter in that AG emblem on the side. That's kind of cool. I like that AG emblem. It's raised at the corners, and then it's inset a little bit right there, which is kind of different. So like visually, aesthetically, they look kind of decent. There's the mold injection point. It's just a single point injection. It looks like there are two halves to it, but it's fused together. You can see the line here, and then it goes around, and then on the toe, and then right there too. So it seems to be the same material in the top and the bottom. Let me raise up the camera a little bit, and we will pull out the insole and take a look at it a little more. There, I've got a little more room here. All right. This should come right out. All right, so it's only popping through on the one side. The other side, that emblem is an insert into the EVA. So that side that's a little more of a plastic, hard plastic, is an insert. And the other side is the lock-in, and on the bottom is the lock-in. So, all right, we'll look at this on hand a little bit. The cuts are a little crude. The EVA cut, the windows, they're a little crude. We got a couple on the top, couple breathe holes on the top. There's these two on the front. This was one of the criticisms of these in the video that I watched, is the people's toes were popping through here, so that might not be the best placement for ventilation on the toes, especially if you're like walking on a trail or something. You could get like a stick like stabbed into your foot there, so I don't know if that's a positive. We got some nice big ventilation cuts on the side, and then on the other side here too, where that was crudely cut. That's bugging me. That's really sloppy right there. And then the window holes where the inserts lock in. And it's very large interior. It doesn't have any form to it. It's just a big open cavity. It looks like all of the form is on the insole here. So we've got a similar radial pattern on the insole as there is on the outsole. So that's kind of mirrored. And it's not too aggressive. There's the AG logo. It's got the 361 Energy N40. So this is super squishy. So I'm optimistic that they will be comfortable, but they might be a little clunky. They might be a little big, just based on how large that cavity is. Though this is pretty thick though too. We've got a serial number on the side. But this is weird. I think it's New Balance. They have a slide that has this kind of lock-in module insert thing. I don't know if it goes through the outsole or if it just locks into it. I'm not sure if it goes all the way through or not, but I've never been impressed by that mechanic. I'm not sure. I mean, I get the functionality of it, but in like, as far as it's being like practical, I don't know. Personally, I don't think it's good to have holes in the bottom of whatever shoe or sandal or slide you're wearing. That's just, in my mind, like not a good idea. But all right, let's put these back together and we will throw them on foot. I think that's all I have to. It locks in pretty well though when I put it in. But I think that's all I have to show in hand. So they don't look bad. They look kind of cool. So that's actually, before we do that, let me just compare them to the Foam RNR. Real quick, just to see some of the similarities. All right. So we've got those cuts on the side are relative to the Foam RNR cuts. The marbling is relative. The general form of the toe is very relative. You can see the similarities there. So there's a lot more ventilation on the Foam RNR. And yeah, I think that's about it. Beyond that, just the silhouette of them, that big bulbous front. So these were probably designed, excuse me, off of the Foam RNR form, I'm assuming. And then the bottom's different too. So they vary enough, they differ enough in aesthetics that I don't think they're too much of a copy, but they definitely, you can see where they pulled influence from. So, all right, let's throw them on foot. All right, I'm gonna leave the tags on these just in case they're terrible and I wanna get my money back. So these are my first like full-fledged Chinese brand foam shoe or slide that I've experienced so far. So the majority of these foam shoes I purchased seem to be made in China, but this is the actual first like Chinese brand. So first initial slide in impressions, that insole is very soft. It's got a nice squish factor to it. I don't like there not being any sort of lock-in mechanism for the heel. That was my main issue with the those Croc Echo Waves, was there was no lock-in mechanic for the heel, and just how sloppy they fit. I ended up returning those, which that's one of my more viewed videos. Like stylistically, those Echoes they look pretty good, but in terms of the fit, they were not for me. So back to these. Let me pull up my pants so you can kind of get a better look at them. So standing impressions, they are very squishy. They're very soft. I don't know how well they're gonna stay on foot as I walk. We've got some space between the top and my foot. So you can see when I push down the flex there. So there is some, there's a lot of wiggle room there. I've got a lot of space on the end. I probably could have went down in a whole nother size. These are a little big. So I've got a good inch, I would say, on the end here where my toe is. So I don't know. Yeah, at least a half size. I would go down a full size. So I went with the 11s. I typically wear an 11.5 or 12, and I ordered these in the 11s. I probably could have went with a 10.5. I don't know if I would have went all the way down to a 10, but the 10.5 probably would have been the best size to go with. So if you're looking at getting these, just my initial impressions, I will go down an entire size of whatever your normal size is. So, all right, let's walk in them a little bit and see how they feel. So initially, they're very soft. They're very squishy. I don't have any complaints with the comfort so far. That sizing issue might be the deal breaker for me though, but we'll see how they walk. I'll drop my pant leg down. We'll get some top-down footage first, and then the action angle. So move the infinity slides. Those are still one of my favorites right now. Those are really good. All right, let's do a little walking. Yeah, they're very clunky. They're not sliding off my foot too terribly. The left one wants to slide more than the right one, it seems. But they're pretty comfortable. They've got a good compression underfoot. There's a lot of material down there. It looks like that side is still not locking in properly. See it popping out? Yeah. I mean, it's still functioning okay, but if you're going to have different components, interlocking components, you should probably make sure that they interlock properly, especially when it comes to like the bottom of your footwear. I mean, just in terms of like being like watertight, you know. Granted, there's cuts that are pretty relative in terms of like where that opening is. So if you're in water that deep, it's gonna come in through the side anyways. But yeah, these aren't too bad. I'm probably gonna send them back. I don't like how big they are. I'll get my money back. They're comfy though. I'm not impressed with that lack of interlocking with that side circle thing. So they're rather tall. I feel like I'm got an extra inch or so on my height. So if you're someone that likes a little more of a height added with your footwear, that's definitely a factor with these. They're a little higher. They look good. I think they look okay visually. I'm not a huge fan of that shiny plastic AG emblem on the side. But like as far as the marbling goes and the color, I think it's pretty nice. I think they look pretty good. So at the $59 price point, that's not too bad. I think you can find them on Alibaba or one of the like the Chinese Amazon site for like $30 or something, but I'm always hesitant to purchase off of those websites just because I don't know if what I'm getting is like authentic. I think there's a lot of counterfeit products on those websites. But so I just went with that 361 Sport website, so that's probably the best website to get them from. All right, let's get the down low angle. All right. Okay. So they're definitely very stylish. I kind of like the look of them. Like I said, aside from that emblem on the side, I think that's a little ugly, but just the overall form of them isn't bad. They're very Foam RNR-esque. And the marbling's good too. They're very comfortable. They're very squishy. You know, the comfort, I'd give them like a 9 out of 10 on the comfort. They're very comfortable. The heel rise isn't terrible. I mean, the way that top is, it kind of locks in a little bit. I think if Had I gone down another size, they'd fit a little bit better, and I probably would keep them. But I think I'm gonna send these back just based on how big they are. Maybe in the future, if I feel the need to revisit these, I'll get a 10.5. So that would definitely be my sizing recommendation, is to go down a full size. But other than that, I think that's really my only negative. I wish there was a little more that locked in the heel too, but the rise isn't terrible. I mean, the roof is far enough towards the ankle that it locks the foot in pretty well. It's just they're very casual fitting, and they just feel too big. Like, these feel like a pair of 13s. I just don't like that. I don't like how big they feel. And just that entire like open area in the back, like I said, it reminds me of the Echo Waves, and that was my big complaint with the Echo Waves. It's just there was nothing to kind of lock in the foot in the back. So these are kind of very reminiscent of the Echo Waves. But they are super comfortable though. That squish is very nice. So like I said, had I gone down another half size, I would probably keep these. I think that's my only main complaint with them is the sizing. They just run like very large. But if you like more of a casual fit, you know, maybe order them how I ordered them, just a half size down, but I would encourage going down a full size. But yeah, they're not terrible. I would say it's a generally good impression, first impression of a Chinese brand slide or foam shoe. So like that insert, it really doesn't have much of a ergonomic footbed to it. There's really, the arch support's kind of lacking, but they squish enough to where it kind of creates ergonomic support to your foot. But I don't know. I always think that that's kind of a lazy ergo when you just have the squish that fills in where it needs to. You know, like, I think there probably could have been a little more of a ergonomic design to that insole, to that insert. But I mean, other than that, it's a pretty flat footbed to it. There's not a lot going on. It's just squishy. So if you're after something with like a good arch support, or like some good toe grooves or something like that, that really kind of forms to your foot's shape, that's not really happening here, other than just squishing down into it. So what I was gonna say is I don't think they really needed to do that that insert. Like the EVA foam on the outside is soft enough that I think they could have just made the whole thing out of that EVA foam and maybe created a little more of an ergonomic footbed to it. That might have been a better design. And then you don't have this weird lock-in type of insole. Like, I don't really care for that. I don't really care for that design component to it, having these big nodules coming out of the bottom and out of the side. That's just kind of awkward to me. So I think that's all I really have to say about these. I will send these back. I don't plan on keeping these. So I'll start the return once I'm done with the video. But overall, they're not terrible. They're not a negative in my mind. They're just too big. I just didn't get the sizing right. So that's all I have to say about these, I do believe. So the AG Whale 2, not terrible, just really big. All right, that's gonna do it for the AG Whale 2. They're kind of meh. They're not terrible. The sizing just isn't right. The sizing is way off in reference to like US sizes. So definitely go down an entire size if you're gonna look at getting these. But other than that, they're not terrible. I'm not a big fan of that weird insert. They do feel a little clunky, just how big they are. but the comfort's not terrible. They're pretty comfortable. So like I said, had I gone another half size down, I probably would keep them, but I didn't, so I'm gonna send them back. But thanks to the viewer who requested them. I always enjoy trying out something new and something different. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. All right, cheers.